Okay, so that's going to be the next thing we do, is we're going to say, what is good writing? We'll talk about that in one second. I don't want to lose this. Okay, so, about, I guess it was 8 years ago, I went down to Arizona to stay in a friend's house down there in southern Arizona to go on a little break. Because I earn my living, this is my full-time living, and I am self-supporting. I wish I had a rich husband to support me, but this has been my sole living for 15 years. So when I write something else, like a book, it is in addition to the work I do all the time, which is as a journalist and editor, and I write a great deal for businesses and entrepreneurs, you know, for their communications, their website content. So it's what I like to call all things writerly. That's what I do. Anybody remember the Ed Sullivan Show?
Yeah.
Yes. When people say, so what do? I say, you know the guy that had all those bamboo sticks? And then he added a plate and he'd spin it like this, and he'd do another one and another one here. Remember that?
Yeah.
Okay, that's me. And I'm this, spinning those plates on sticks to earn my living in all things writerly. So of course I work as an editor for magazines, and also to work as a coach and editor of people's manuscripts, etc. So I had to get the heck out of my regular life and devote some time to write. I was going down to Arizona to write a completely different book. Has anybody heard of that phenomenon, where you think you're going to write this and then that happens? Yeah, weird. It's not just characters who just barge in and say, I don't think so. I'm not going to do that. I wouldn't do that. Well, it happens for whole books sometimes, and that's unbelievably weird. I went down to write a book, which, by the way, it's now my second book, and I'm working on it right now, so it's kind of like, excuse me, Muse, can I write my first book now? Thank you. So I went down there with 6 months of what they call deep research. I'm writing not a historic novel, but a historical non-fiction book about a coastal situation, let's say. I went down there and nothing would happen. So believe me if you think that that feeling of like, oh my God, I don't know what to do, goes away. It doesn't. Does it go away? Having writer's block?
You know, I think it's good when you were talking about changing channels, and I think when you've got a prompt and you find yourself going somewhere else, go there.
Go.
Go. Listen.
Like the wind. Run like the wind in that direction. Which doesn't mean that, you know, you're blowing around mindlessly forever, but we're going to talk about writing prompts in a minute as one of the great ways to get going. Okay. And so I went down there, I sat there for 3 days, time ticking, because I had 28 days there, to, by the way, write the first draft of my book. I'm not talking about it. I sat there for 3 years. By the third day, I was crying in front of my laptop in absolute terror, because I thought, oh my God, did I have a stroke in my sleep? I didn't notice. I can't write anymore. It's gone. I'm finished. I'm going to have to become, I don't know, something else. And so then I thought, okay, and this is where it comes in. Okay, take it easy. Why don't you do what you tell your students to do, by the way, and just do some free writes, open up, relax. And then what came barging in was the Fisher Queen. Every day I wrote 2,000 words. Every day for 25 days. And a little bit more. So I came back with 30,000 words. And they were the Fisher Queen stories. Who knew? I didn't know. And so I started, I came back to my writing group and they said, hey, so how's the book? And I said, well, it's kind of different what happened. And they said, well, let's see the pieces anyway. And so they became the Fisher Queen stories. And that's what I call pearls. Because we're going to talk about something else. And know about where to start. Is start thinking about a pearl necklace. And props. Those are 3 things we're going to do tonight. So I had 15 pearls lying in a pile, basically on a desk. And those were those stories. I started fooling around with them. And I read them on the radio, and I put them out there in writing competitions. And by the way, if you're ever concerned about putting out your stories from your bigger story, your bigger memoir, Don't worry about it. In fact, it actually adds cachet to your content. So you've seen books where it says excerpts have been published in the New Yorker, in the Sun, in blah blah. That is fantastic. So, anybody seen my card? What does it say on the front? This is the shortest, this is what they call a tagline in the business world, in promotional writing. Making words work. So you make your words work. Yes, make them work diligently for you. Okay. So there I was with these. I had them out there. I was entering them into competitions, blah, blah, blah. The Great Great Beast, which is a chapter in here, that's the one that was, it was shortlisted for the National Literary Awards of the CBC. It was me and another person. You know, so, really? So I was devastated. But it was a wonderful thing to do to get the work out there. How many people here are going to open mics and reading their work in front of other people, getting your stuff out there, introducing people to your work, to your words, to your style? Think of a writer right now, your favorite writer, one. Everybody got it? Mm-hmm. Anything, novels, you know, journalist, it doesn't matter. You got it? I know.
Yes.
Barbara Kingsolver. Love her.
Sorry, I couldn't make out. What did you ask?
Your favorite writer, just whatever pops to your mind.
Oh,
Get a name.
Carr. Emily Carr.
Emily Carr, fantastic. Do you know that Emily Carr was known as a writer before, you know, more so than a painter in Europe?
No.
Yeah, absolutely. She was highly regarded as a writer in Europe in her day. Anyway, so think of that person. Okay, and think about what you like. Is it the topic area? Sometimes. Is it, what else? What do you like? Why do you keep reading them? If you read one book and then another book, how many people have read more than one book by that person? Why?
I'm waiting.
The way it's written, the voice, their style. I teach in a lot of writing conferences all over North America. And so when I was starting to create another workshop about building your professional platform and learning how to navigate, this is another one where she's navigating the publishing world. I asked publishers and agents that I knew from all over North America when we'd be sitting in the lounge afterwards, what they thought was really important. What did they want to see from writers? And then I asked writers what they wanted to see from agents and editors and so on. Do you know what the publishing houses people and the editors and the agents and all the rest of them said that they really want? They want a writer to act very professionally, know the business, like do your homework, know the business, and have a unique voice. When people say, oh, I'm going to wait until I think of something really, really unique to write about. When's that going to happen? Never. But they say there's 27 plots or something in the world. Yeah. So it's not about the thing that's unique. It is how you write about it. Because you're probably not going to think about a thing that's never been written before in 50,000 years of human history. Honestly, I'm not being cheeky when I say that. But what has never happened before? How you write it. How you write it. So the way you filter it through your creativity, through your life experiences, how you perceive things, that's what we're going for. And honestly, if you're writing for publication, whether it's self-publishing or traditional publishing or a combination of those, what everybody wants is to be really, really engaged by a really authentic and interesting writing voice. How you put it across. Let's get back to that couple at the dinner table, you know, that had just come back from Swaziland or something. And the person has said, yeah, well, we did that and came back, and that's it. And the other person is engaging you. Engaging you. They hook you in. That's what I call the great seduction. It is. You just seduce them. A little bit of time, a little hint. You bring them in, and you bring them in, and you keep them there, and you bring them in. Anybody fished? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Got to set the hook, right? And you can't just like jump in the water and chase them around in there. So
there's a lot of timing in that.
You bet. Timing is absolutely the case. So everybody following with that? Okay. So, let's talk about the pearl necklace. Again, we're going to get to the prompts. This is really hardcore stuff. The pearl necklace. I had the 15 pearls. What was I going to do? I used them. I made them work for me. And then I was very fortunate because I was out there working my craft, doing my thing, reading them at open mics, submitting them to writing contests, doing all kinds of stuff. So then people started to hear about them. One thing led to another. And I was approached, actually, by Heritage House and said, "We've heard your stuff, and we think it's pretty cool. We like the way you tell stories. We like the way you tell those stories. But we don't like it the way it is." Ha ha ha. Because I said, I don't want to write a whole book, like a whole big long story. I just want to write little stories and just put them up there. Because the rest of the other thing is too much work. This is a writing professional. Wow. And so they said, "No, sorry. We're only interested, we love the stories and we love your style. But we want what is called in the business a strung narrative. It's strung together. Pearl necklace. The pearls of those stories are strung in a very particular way on that string." And I'll talk a bit more about it in a minute. So if I wanted a book contract, I had to suck it up. And this is your question about how long did it take. It took me 3.5 months to write 63,000 words as a final manuscript. So when people said to me at the time, "Well, you're a professional editor. They're going to love you. They're not going to have to spend a penny on your editing." So between my colleagues that looked over it and between my writing group members that critiqued it, like crazy, and I self-edited, guess how many times The Fisher Queen was fully edited by the editor I was assigned at the publishing house?
8.
7. 7 full rewrites.
Wow.
Yeah. So it was wonderful because here I am working as an editor and I am being edited at the same time. And there were times I thought, "Oh my God, I had no idea my clients hated me this much." Because you do.